Why is it that when you lose weight, you gain it again? When you make some progress with your health and fitness, you seem to go back to where you started. Today, I'm going to explain all and give you the exact step-by-step process that I use with my clients on my program to unlock their true potential and reach their health and fitness goals for good. A sustainable approach that is proven, is tested. I've got the evidence to show you. So without any further ado, let's get stuck into this and show you exactly how you can do it too. My name is Sam Gerlin. I'm the founder of Gerlin Nutrition, and I have designed and curated the Nutritional Growth Blueprint as a program to take you on a roadmap, a step-by-step guide to unlocking your health and fitness goals. Today I'm going to be giving you an insight into that very program and show you the exact 5-step process that I use to achieve this with my clients. So without any further ado, I'm going to be showing you on my laptop. So if I switch between screens, you know what's going on. I'm going to hit record on this little loom video down here. Hopefully the camera here is still tracking me. Sorry for the mess in the background, but we're going to get cracking with this either way. Okay, let's start the recording here. Okay, so the Nutritional Growth Blueprint, the roadmap with the answers to your health and your fitness goals. As I mentioned, this video is built to really outline the steps that I use with my clients on the program itself. You might be able to take this away and use it for yourself, or you might, gain a little bit of an intrigue into the program as a result of this and want to learn a little bit more. Either way, I'm happy because you're progressing. Okay, why do most people fail? That was the first question that I had to ask myself. Why is it that people struggle to reach their health and fitness goals in the first place? And once I identified the areas or the common variables that link everybody together in this sense, it was easier for me to reverse engineer those common problems. So I was able to see that, people don't have systems in place. They sort of wing it as they go. Their goals and their targets are unclear. They've got unrealistic expectations of themselves. They're looking to lose 3 kg in a week or whatever it may be before their holiday. And they've just got generally unsustainable approaches, normally linked with, restrictive dieting or vigorous training plans that just are never going to be sustainable in the long run. And I was looking at, reverse engineering these common problems. And I come up with a system or a roadmap, the blueprint to really get people to where they want to be effectively. And it all starts with this first step, which is baseline assessment. You can't change what you don't understand. So for me, with all of my clients who come onto the program, I'm looking at exactly where they are, exactly where they want to be, and then we can sort of bridge that gap in between. But if you don't have an idea of your current habits, your current lifestyle, your routines, your nutrition patterns, your fitness levels, your mindset, your sleep, your goals, your personal history, all of these things, you're never going to truly be able to understand where you are and how to bridge that gap. This helps me as the coach to identify those blind spots and those patterns that are really holding people back and preventing them from getting to where they need to be. I mentioned personal history there. That's tied to why things have failed in the past. What is it that's, not been there to get you to where you want to be? Okay, so once this baseline assessment is done, this also includes, as I say, dietary preferences and things like that, because at the end of the day, you've got to enjoy what you're doing. If you don't, you're never going to get to where you want to be in the long run. And then it's about having this mindset shift. Okay, I genuinely believe you're never going to get to where you want to be. You can have your macro spot on, you can be moving every day, but if the mindset is not right, there's the 3 M's there that I mentioned. If the mindset is not right, you're never going to truly make sustainable progress. It's that word again, sustainable. This is where it's at. This is where genuine change, lifestyle change, habitual change happens. You can't out-train a limiting belief or a cognitive bias. You need to bring the unconscious to the conscious and make yourself aware. Awareness is the key word here. It is so important. Bringing those cognitive biases to life. And the ultimate goal of this process is becoming more process driven. Grounding yourself in your daily habits, your routines, your rituals, and stop focusing too much on the end goal, the outcome, whether that's weight loss, whether that's a performance related goal, whether that's a weight loss goal tied to a performance related goal. That's a big part of what I do here, and I'm sure I'll touch on it very, very shortly. Yes, the outcome is important, but people fall to their systems and not necessarily the goals themselves. So we'll touch on that again a little bit more in just a moment. Step number 3 is setting SMART goals. And now you might be thinking you've literally just contradicted what you've just said with this, but it's so important to still have clear goals. And I think that other frameworks, you've probably all heard of the SMART target framework, and I think that genuinely has some validity. I really did think that there was, a simplicity to that was quite endearing and quite attractive to me as a coach. It's something that I've used a lot before. You've probably used it in school and whatever else, but I felt like there was something lacking from it. So I've sort of developed it and enhanced it to build a framework for goal setting that's conducive to success effectively. Creating clear goals creates clear intentions. That's the whole purpose of this stage of the process, stage number 3 here. It's making sure that your goals align with your life, your expectations, and it's also why it's important to conduct step 1, which is the baseline assessment, because understanding where you are allows you to project that into the future and understand where you want to go. And you can see on the end here, the S on the end of the framework is systemized. So making sure that there's a system in place to help you achieve your goals. Okay. And then it's about building the system. Step number 4. I mentioned the quote just then. This is from James Clear and Atomic Habits, a book that changed my life. I really do recommend it. But you rise to the level of your systems and not your goals. Okay, so yes, the goals are super, super important, but where the traditional goal setting frameworks lack is that they don't have a system or anything underneath it to support it to get you there. So for me, this is about setting habits. Okay, habit setting. We've all heard of goal setting, but this is a framework that I've sort of put together around habit setting, putting the rituals and the systems and the routines in place to get you to where you want to be. That's on the micro level and on the macro level. So, on, your morning routine, your daily routine, your weekly routine, but also your monthly, quarterly, yearly routine. It's breaking those variables down and really making things clear to yourself to make the process as simple as possible. So you can see here we're talking about routines, stacking habits on top of each other. That's another principle or tenet from the book Atomic Habits. Your rituals, your environmental design, so creating an environment around you that's really conducive to success, and time blocking. Little strategies such as these are all things that are implemented in the program at this stage. Now the final point or the final step in the whole process is to refine and repeat. You're never going to get it right first time. You've got to try, you've got to test, you've got to iterate. It's not impossible to get it right first time, but if you really want to optimize things, it's natural to look at how we can adjust and tweak things as we go. We can use data, but also more subjective feelings to assess where we are and where we want to be. I mentioned that word again, awareness. It is so important to be aware of where you are, where you're going. Progress over perfection is another little sort of staple piece that I like to use. As long as you're taking steps in the right direction, don't get too caught up in the perfectionism of things. If we have to drop something and revert to something else, that's absolutely fine, because it's still going to contribute to that progress. Consistency is the key word, and now consistency doesn't mean sticking with the same thing all the time. I think there's some sort of quote, I can't repeat it exactly, but the definition of an idiot is someone who does something on multiple occasions when it doesn't bear the fruit that they were looking for. Effectively, I butchered that quote, but it's along those lines. You get what I mean. So consistency to me is just keep showing up, keep doing the right things, and if that means adjusting things, iterating as we go, then so be it. And it's important to stay agile and flexible. That really ties in with the point I've just made there. Consistency is just as much about showing up each day as it is about being flexible, having that flexibility and adjusting as we go. A big part of this process is indeed the education and accountability, and that's exactly what the program entails. So there's a massive curriculum attached to it, 6 months worth of carefully crafted curriculum that have implemented around all the topics that we've covered here today, but also specifics around nutrition, training, sleep optimization, stress management, the 4 pillars that I use within the program itself. And then you've got the accountability piece as well. Okay, so that's in the community on the program, but also in me as the coach on those calls where we can chat about things and talk through this process. It's a constant iteration. That word is so key as well. And the accountability really does help with that. You don't have to hire a coach. That could be in a friend or a parent or a sibling or a friend, whatever it may be. But having those two facets as well, education and accountability, really contributes to this stage 5 or step 5 in the process. It's important to acknowledge that, we don't often know why we're doing something, which is why it makes it so easy to fall off. So having that education, again, that word awareness is essential. But they are the 5 steps in the process. Just to go back over it here, we've got baseline assessments where, we assess exactly where you are, and that informs, where we're going or where you want to be. Then we've got the mindset shift, really reframing your mind, bringing those cognitive biases to life, those limiting beliefs that have held you back in the past, and really, giving yourself the belief to push forward that you can, in fact, achieve your goals. Okay, that also informs, how to set, targets and goals, to create those clear intentions that we've discussed and make sure that's aligning with your life and, your routines. And then it's building the systems to achieve them goals. This is the area that I think is lacking most for people, the systems, the habits, and then it's refining and repeating that whole process. Okay, so that is a little insight into the Nutritional Growth Blueprint itself and the structure, the framework that I use with my clients to help them reach their health and fitness goals. I've shared this with you today so that you've got a step-by-step sort of roadmap, blueprint to take away for yourself, to adopt and use. But if you'd like to learn a little bit more about how, exactly I incorporate these areas, there will actually be a link in the description down below. You don't have to click it, but I'm making you aware of it. So if you'd like to learn a little bit more about the Nutritional Growth Blueprint, you can go down there, click on that, check it out. It's there for you to use. Of course, there's no pressure to do so, but as I say, I'm just making you aware. But that is the end of this video. I hope you've taken something from this because, I've put a lot of thought, a lot of effort into this whole sort of framework and structure. The program itself has taken me months, if not, years to build. I haven't seen anyone else do anything like this. I think it's the best thing out there. And excited to see where it goes because it's only going to grow and get better. So yeah, that's, a little bit of a narcissistic twist on things, me saying how good my own program is, but I genuinely do believe that. I've put my limiting beliefs to one side to go back to that mindset shift, and I've convinced myself, or I know for a fact I've left no stone unturned on this program, and I genuinely believe it's the best out there. So yeah, that little ego boost aside, I hope you've enjoyed this and taken something from it once more. If you've got any questions for me, please drop them in the comment section below or drop me a DM. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you've got. Consider liking this video and subscribing because it really does help me out. I'm coming with 2 to 3 YouTube videos every single week, so I'm bringing the value, bringing content just like this. So hit that subscribe button, drop a like if you'd like to see some more stuff like this. But other than that, I thank you so much for watching. You've made it to this point in the video, so you deserve a little bit of praise there. Well done for making it this far and listening to me waffle on for about 10-15 minutes. But yeah, other than that, I'll see you in the next one in a bit.